welcome back to my channel. This video is gonna be a review and demo of these. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Longwear Foundation, the Rimmel Lasting Finish Breathable Primer, and the Rimmel Stay Matte Mattifying Loose Powder. I mentioned it before, I absolutely love this combination. The stay-in power is amazing, so I'm just gonna show you how I actually achieve a full face, flawless, basically, very long lasting, and my thoughts, I already said it, I love these products together. I'm gonna go in first with the Rimmel primer. I am gonna take a decent size. I already have my face moisturized, but I'm gonna take about maybe this much of this primer. I absolutely love this primer. It's very hydrating. It's a little kind of sticky. I think that helps with the staying power of the foundation. Like the foundation feels like it just sticks onto it. So definitely my favorite primer so far. Well, I do have another primer that I really like a lot, and that is the Julep Mattifying Primer. That one too kind of have the same feeling to it, the same finish. It kind of feels a little kind of like sticky. It's very hydrating, very breathable. Well, I don't know if it's really breathable, but it feels like my skin actually is not suffocating with this primer. So yeah, that was definitely a generous amount. I probably could have used less. I'm gonna take it down to my neck and my chin area. Okay, it's got like a little bit of tackiness. I don't know if that's what's really helping my foundation stay or not. I am also gonna use this little sample of MAC Stroke Cream, and this is in Pink Light. I'm gonna take just a little tiny amount, and I'm gonna apply that on my cheeks mainly, and a little bit on my forehead. I do like, I said it before, I do like to really glow. So there we go. Alrighty. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for all that to set, and then I'll be back and show you how I apply the foundation. Okay, so now that my primer has been sitting on for about 10 minutes, I am gonna go ahead and get started with applying the foundation. The shade that I have is 200 Soft Beige. I find that it's a really good match for me right now. So I will be using a generous amount of this product, and I'll let you know why in a minute. It does have that little bit, that doe foot applicator. It's pretty chubby doe foot applicator. I'm gonna apply this all over my face. Might seem like a lot of product, but it's not. So there we go. I have tested this foundation with a couple different application methods. I've used it with a wet sponge, I've used it with a buffing brush, and I found that the best way to apply it is when the sponge is dry, and that's why I went with quite a bit of foundation. So I'm gonna tap it into the skin. I'm not gonna buff it in, and the dry sponge will definitely absorb the excess foundation. So you're not gonna look cakey, I promise. It sinks into the skin so beautifully. This truly has been my favorite foundation lately. If I didn't have so many other foundations to test out and to try, I would be using this every single day. It gives, I'm not gonna say a full coverage, but it's definitely a medium coverage, and it is buildable. So I currently do not have any trouble spot. Usually if I have like breakouts in this area, I can go in again and apply a little bit more of that foundation, and it does blend very beautifully to the first layer of foundation that I applied. So here we go. Tapping my brush, my sponge into it. I do need to put a little bit more product so I can drag it down to my neck for a perfect match. An example, or let me show you what I mean. It's not very full coverage. It is medium coverage. I do have a breakout or a little acne spot right here, and it's still sort of showing through. It's not completely covered up, but I am fine with that. I do not need to go in with another, I don't need to cover that anymore. So here we go. Feels very beautiful. It does not feel matte yet. Still feels dewy, and big part of that is the fact that I did apply a primer and I topped it with a strobing cream. That's fine with me. When I use the mattifying powder, that's gonna definitely look more matte, but I absolutely love the way this looks on my skin. I'm gonna come in a little closer to show you. I absolutely love how this foundation looks. I love it. I really have not used a foundation in a long time that I felt this strongly about. That's why I'm here doing this review. I'm gonna go ahead and do my concealer, and then I'm gonna set my whole face. For concealer, I am using this Too Faced Born This Way Naturally Radiant Concealer, and this is in the shade Light Medium. I do not have any trouble spots right now, so I do not need to conceal basically any blemishes or anything like that. Just need to put some concealer under my eyes, and I am gonna use some concealer to highlight the center of my forehead. This concealer is not that light in color, so it's not really gonna brighten that much, but it will brighten a little. For this, I am gonna be using a wet, like a Real Technique little sponge. This is dirty, but I always use it for the same concealer, so we're just gonna go with it. I did dampen it, so whatever is on the sponge, I am gonna drag it down into basically the areas that usually needs a little brightening for me, which is the center of my chin, outside of my mouth, and that's about it. This concealer blends in very nicely with the foundation, so I don't have to worry about like difference in color. Like, it looks very uniform. It looks amazing. Now I am gonna set my whole face, and I am gonna use this the Rimmel Stay Matte Mattifying Loose Powder. For under my eyes, actually I am gonna use my and that's not for any particular reason. I guess I haven't tested that powder, the Rimmel powder under my eyes. I have been using the Laura Mercier translucent powder because it is in my project pan and I want to use it up. So I'm just gonna set under my eye with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Before I go ahead and set under my eyes, I gotta make sure that I do not have any wrinkles. If I do, I am gonna go again, tap 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 with my little Rimmel's Real Technique sponge, and then I'm gonna set it. I do not wanna set any under eye wrinkles. I am taking a generous amount of that. So here we go. Okay, now that my under eye is set, I am gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face. To do that, I am gonna use the little poof that came in the Rimmel Stay Matte Loose Powder. I'll show you what I'm doing. I opened my my jar. I did dip the poof in, dip it in, and then tap off the excess. And then I will use the lid to tap off the excess. And then I'm just gonna press it into my face. Looks white, but that is okay because I will show you how I'm gonna fix that. You're gonna press into the face. I'm not picking any more product. It's the products that I picked up originally and I tapped it into the lid. So I'm picking those up again from the lid. I'm not going back into the jar. Here we go. Now my whole face is set. You can see there's powder everywhere, but that is okay. What we are gonna do is we are gonna go in, or I am gonna go in with the same brush that I used to set under my eye, and I'm gonna lightly dust away that excess powder. You don't wanna push too hard because you do not wanna move the product or your foundation that you worked hard on applying. There we go. Gotta check in my mirror. So definitely now, if you look at my face, it is matte. It is no longer dewy. It feels absolutely beautiful, very soft. To me, it looks flawless. It has the perfect amount of coverage. With the powder, you can get kind of builds up the coverage a little because I do not see any of my. I guess I do have some. What are they called? Peeking through my. What are they called? You know, the little dots. But that's okay. It is the perfect finish for me, the perfect coverage, and I absolutely love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. You know, you can go ahead at this point, apply your bronzer, your blush, and your highlight, some setting spray, and you're good to go. I am gonna do that, and I'm gonna do my eyes. I am going out tonight, so I need to get fully ready. But the review for the Rimmel foundation, primer, and powder, I highly recommend. I guess before I say go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, let me tell you a little bit about my skin. I do have normal skin. I do get oily maybe like 8 hours into my day after wearing foundation for 8 hours. But with this setting powder, absolutely do not get oily. I can wear this foundation for a really long day at work. I highly recommend it. It is a fraction of the price of any high-end foundation. I believe I bought my foundation for about $6 from Walmart. The same with the primer, and the powder was like $4 or $5. So everything together is under $20. I absolutely love it, recommend it. And here's another close-up of what my face is looking like. Okay, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!